What's up, YouTube? This is True Raw for TV. All right, this was another question that was asked of me. Forgot to do a video about this. One of my subscribers asked me, "What did I think about Monta Ellis?" And what are my thoughts on Monta Ellis? Well, I think that Monta Ellis, unfortunately, came about in the wrong era. I think I believe he was part of the 2005 draft. Had he came about 10 years earlier or 15 years earlier, I think he would have had a nice career. I think he would have had like one of those Antoine Jameson careers where he was much better than people anticipated. No, I can't say that. I can't say that because Antoine Jameson did have a Hall of Fame trajectory, but as far as his actual career, it would have been Antoine Jameson, as if the numbers would be great, but I don't know whether he would still be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? The accolades, the numbers would be great. The accolades may not match the numbers. Is what I'm trying to say. Because Monta Ellis, he didn't really have a lot of accolades or awards or accomplishments. I think the only award he really got was a Most Improved Player award. Let's check it right now. Yeah, Most Improved Player award 2006-2007, and that's in the NBA. He scored over 14,000. Matter of fact, he scored close to 15,000 career points. He averaged 17.8 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 4.6 assists. He played from 2015 to 2017, but he's primarily known for his stint with even though you see a Mavericks jersey on Monta Ellis right here, he was primarily known for his stint with the Pacers, which was 2005 to 2012, but then he was traded to the Bucks, where he played a year. He spent 2 seasons with the Mavericks, and then ended his career with 2 final seasons with the Pacers, where, if I remember correctly, he started having a lot of injury problems. But his peak, let's go look at his numbers right quick. His peak as a professional basketball player was 2007 to 2012. And during that 5-year window, he averaged 22.2 points, 4.1 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.8 steals, 46.4% shooting, and 77.8% from the foul line. He's probably best known for his stint, not just with the Warriors, because with the Warriors he started off as a member of a backup member of the We Believe team, but he's best remembered for his stint with a very young Steph Curry as the inaugural backcourt for Steph Curry's NBA career from 2009 to 2012. And during that stint with Curry, he averaged over 23 points a game. The problem was his game. It was his game and his size. Now, they were very small. Murray 6'2", Curry 6'2". Now, perhaps back in the days of the 70s and 80s, that wouldn't have been a problem. But you started having, during that time period, bigger and bigger guards. You know what I'm saying? Infamously, remember Jordan and Harper were both 6'5", 6'6". So people, a lot of backcourts were getting bigger and bigger. So, you got these 2 guys, one that can shoot, one that was having injury issues at the time with Steph Curry. Monta Ellis, who was at that time healthy, or pretty healthy, even though he missed some games. Now look at it, he did actually miss some games too. Now I'm looking at it. He was a workhorse, but he missed games. Um, Monta Ellis was not a good defender. He got steals. You know, he was good at accumulating steals, but he was not a great one-on-one defender. And he couldn't shoot. Because that was, well, I mean, he could shoot okay, but the NBA, this is when analytics was starting to take hold. This is why I'm always pushing against this notion that Steph Curry changed the league. No, he didn't. He popularized and he became the face of the change, but the change was already occurring. I remember this. The change was caused by analytics. It was starting to become more and more popular. It was starting to become more and more of a trend at that time that you needed shooting on your team. Not just a fast, athletic guard who, you know what I'm saying, analysts would say, well, you know, because of his game, because of his slashing manner, he's only going to have a 5 or 6 year shelf life. Whereas the shooters, you know what I'm saying, they can adapt. Their careers can last longer. The Reggie Millers, the Ray Allens. Look at Steph. He's still productive at age 35, right? So guys like Monta Ellis, small guards, not noted for their shooting, more their athleticism, can't guard, they're becoming more extinct. Plus, Monta Ellis himself was getting on the management's nerves. If I remember correctly, he said something about, I don't think I'm going to work out playing with Steph Curry or something like that. Then he got hurt in a moped accident, hurt his ankle. So when you look at that and you look at the drafting of Klay Thompson, and you know Klay was a little bit bigger at 6'4", they think that they could mold Klay into being a defender, and you got two shooters. That made Monta Ellis obsolete in their eyes. So he got traded, and you know the rest was history. And we started seeing an NBA where the focus was less on guards that could, you know, dunk and drive to the basket and do amazing, you know, athletic moves, and it became more about shooting. More about shooting. So unfortunately, I caught up with Monta Ellis. I think had he came to the NBA, like I said, 10 or 15 years earlier, Monta Ellis would have had a really good career. You know, but especially another thing too, when you think about the fact that a guy like Monta Ellis demands the basketball more, whereas once they start putting that ball in the hands of Curry, you know, we saw a definite, we saw the style that we see today of that team, and early on it was almost more like Curry was playing like Thompson early on, with catch and shoots more often in his career. But once you got rid of old boy, once you got rid of Monta Ellis, then Klay was the guy whose game was fitted to play with in the backcourt with a Steph. But anyway, that's pretty much how I remember Monta Ellis, man. You know, he was definitely a dangerous scorer, though. He definitely could light it up. I remember having multiple 40-point games and shit. So he definitely could score. But, you know what I'm saying, his game, the way he played it, it just wouldn't have fit with the scheme of what the Warriors were trying to do. So anyway, that's just my take on it, man. Tell me what you guys think.